everybody, welcome to the studio. I'm Mrs. Lapka. This week we are going to learn about cave art. Cave art is art that's created on the walls of caves. Now, if you've ever heard of a caveman, then you know who the early humans were. The early humans were some of the first humans living on our planet, and they lived a very hunter-gatherer lifestyle, which means they spent all their time hunting for food to eat, whether that's gathering food like nuts and berries and seeds, or hunting for animals for meat. Now, they were so busy hunting and gathering, but they took time to create art. So we have evidence of these early humans' artwork on the walls of caves. Take a look at this really cool painting that was done by cavemen over 40,000 years ago. Why were they making art? You know what's cool about this is that we really don't know, so we get to make our own guesses as to why we think caveman spent time, and cave women and children too, spent time out of their busy schedules being hunters, gatherers, and surviving to make art. Archaeologists, or people who study art from the past, learn a lot about this cave art that we've discovered. There's cave art all around the world, and some of it is older than others. But in these drawings and paintings that cavemen did on the walls of their caves, we learn about their lifestyles, we learn about the animals that were around, and how they lived. This painting depicts a scene of hunting. You can see some deer or antelope, and you can see the hunters, and they have bows and arrows. So we get to learn about how cavemen lived their lives, which is pretty fascinating. Some of the paintings are really huge and have lots of details. I love this painting of these bison or buffalo. Some of these cavemen were really good artists, just like some of you. You know, the cavemen had to be really busy trying to survive, to stay alive, to cook and feed their friends and their families. So why did they take time to make art? Well, the answer to that we really don't know, but it's fun to think about it. And some people think that they made art as a religious ceremony or to tell stories, or maybe even just to pass the time. One of my favorite questions is, why do humans make art? Why do we do it? I mean, the cavemen back then weren't making money off of their art, so why did they take time to make art? Why did they feel compelled or drawn to do it? You know why I think? I think because to make art is to be human. I think it's a part of us as humans that making art satisfies our soul and is an important part of our species. Does your dog make art at home? I know my lizard doesn't make any art, so I think this might just be a human thing. We make art. It's what we do. What you're going to need for your lesson today is really simple. You need a pencil, and you're also going to need either a brown paper bag. It could be like a lunch sack like this, or it could be a bag from a grocery store, or if you have brown construction paper, or if you don't have any of those, you can use a blank piece of paper and you could color it brown with a crayon or whatever you have on hand. All right, so if you have your pencil and your brown paper, we're gonna go ahead and get started. We're gonna work on making our own piece of cave art influenced by the art that we learn. And I better get started before I eat all these blueberries or I won't have any blue paint. See you later. These are really good. So for our project today, you're going to need to cut or tear out a piece of brown paper from either a brown bag, a brown grocery bag, or a brown piece of paper, or make a brown piece of paper. I think ancient art is so cool. So I cut mine up and then I use my hands to tear really rough edges to make this look like an ancient work of art. Now this is the fun part where we're gonna start designing and deciding with our pencil what we want to be on our artwork. Now we're gonna lay all of this out on our page today, and tomorrow we're gonna talk about coloring it in and making it really look like an authentic or real piece of cave artwork. Now you have two choices for today. You could either design yours to look authentic or real, like a real caveman, woman, or child created it, And if you want, I've included this PDF file for you to print out or view online that will give you ideas of symbols and shapes that you can include in your artwork. So you could use these and get some inspiration and ideas of what to include on your cave wall. Now, another fun idea that you might entertain doing is creating a work of cave art, but creating what's called a parody, or actually another version of cave art, by adding images of our modern life. So creating cave art with things that maybe we as a society, as humans nowadays, might be painting on our walls. Where the caveman of the past would paint pictures of their lives and how they spent their days cooking and foraging for animals and surviving, we might add images of what we do in our life in our day. So I've also included a second PDF file for you to print or to view online to help inspire you to create your own piece of cave art with all sorts of things like symbols of technology and science, some of our favorite foods. I like pizza. And sports. There's a lot more on there for you to look at, but think about your life, and if you were painting on a cave for people 400,000 years from now to see, what would they discover about your life based on what you included in your drawing? So now I have completed filling out my whole brown paper, my cave wallpaper, with all sorts of symbols and images from my modern life so that people 400,000 years ago can learn a little bit about me. Tomorrow we're going to meet back up right here and we're going to keep talking about cave art and all the things that we can learn from it. And guess what? Tomorrow we're going to use found items to make caveman paint. Let's do it.